Hi, my name is Mudita and welcome to Studio Penjor YouTube channel. In this channel, we share insights about bamboo and tropical architecture, armed with a business perspective. We don't just design for aesthetics, we design for buildability and ROI. Now in this video, I'm going to show you our method that we use in real projects on modeling bamboo roof structure with Rhinoceros and Grasshopper. Feel free to jump into a specific section of this video with a timestamp or grab a cup of coffee and some snacks as we'll deep dive into this. First step, creating the basic shape. We're going to do this directly in Rhino, the manual way. Why? So that we'll have easier control over the shape with control points. In feeling the shape, I want to be able to pull it with my feeling as well as not to be constrained by number sliders in Grasshopper. Right, important notes. We want this basic shape to be as smooth as possible, as simple as possible. This will not only ease our modeling process but also make bamboo structural elements in a good form. Now for this case here, I'm using only half of the roof. I'm going to mirror everything later. As you might have guessed, we do the KISS principle here. Keep it simple and straightforward. Now, another reason for me using half of the roof is because I want the basic shape to be in the form of surface instead of poly surface. Again, this would make many things easier later on. Now that we have our shape, let's kickstart our favorite insect here, Grasshopper. Now, by the way, I'm not going to give you a step-by-step or notes-by-notes tutorial here because there's already plenty of Grasshopper tutorials there. So instead, what I'm going to share with you is more on the workflow and thought process of translating bamboo way into Grasshopper. So moving on, so in our case, possibly contrary to natural architectural 3D modeling principle, we're going to do a top-down approach where we are going to model the rafter first, like the highest, the top part, and then we'll move down until we get down to the columns. Right, now we want the rafter to follow the shape and the curvature of the roof. So we're going to use divide surface here to get points that we can interpolate later on to make the red rafter center lines. Now, this is one of the reasons we need surface and not poly surface. The divide surface node won't work with poly surface. Now take a look at the rafter near to the end of the roof. Nothing looks wrong, right? Right, well yes, but once we'll model out the purlin, we'll notice that these rafters parts are short and are supported with less purlin below them. We don't really want this kind of thing because these will cause unwanted deflection, and so we'll have to tweak. So I take those rafters out with the curl index nodes and replace them. To make better replacement, first I take the wireframe of the basic shape, the inner and the outer. Then I take a point in the inner one and do a subcurve for the outer one. Then divide the subcurve and connect the points to the single point, and ta-da! We have the rafters. And by the way, we still need to project back these curves to the basic shape so that it again follows the curvature. Now, this manual tweaking took me hours to figure out back then, but I've automated this entire logic into the script so you don't have to redo the math every time the roof shape changes. Now, mirror where necessary, pipe those lines, and don't forget to cap. Your 3D artist will thank you. And pro tip, group them in prior. So next time you need to rebake everything, it's already grouped. Well, next, the purlin. First of all, we need to offset the original basic surface that we used before the rafters. Offset it with the same dimension of the radius of the rafters pipes. Now here's another reason why you want a surface instead of polysurface, because the offset surface node does not work with prep or polysurface. So unless you have this amazing parakeet plugin which provides us with offset prep, shout out to Parakeet Marker by the way, amazing simple problem solving nodes, you have to make do with the native Grasshopper node or offset surface. Then the same method where we extract point divide surface. Now at a glance we'll just need to plug in an interpolate curve here to make the Purlins, right? Well, no. Why? Because making a bamboo joinery like this is not effective, so we'll have to again tweak some scripts. Now we'll have to replace the first and the last point that we're going to use for the interpolation with a point in the middle. I'm doing this with the evaluate curve and some parameters. Good. Now we just need to pipe those lines, right? Well, no, not yet. In real life cases, we don't do purlins until the edge of the roof, you see. So we need to move that purlin a bit in. Now I'm using offset surface on surface like this. Now we can pipe those lines. Don't forget to cap and group. Ridge. Now the ridge will be using the same base surface as the rafters. So interpolate, and then I'm taking the last curve, and notice that here I'm offsetting the curve a bit to make it in a lower plane, and then I'm extending it with a negative value to trim it. Then we do the usual pipe, cap and group. Now the beam. Just like the purlins, we're offsetting the base surface. But now this time we're not taking the isocurves element of the base surface to create the center line of the beam. Instead, we're manually setting the lines so that these beams would be straight, unlike the purlins and rafters that follows the curvature of the roof. And again, project those to the base surface. Then I'm doing these CCX operation to find the intersections and join the curve together. And then again, extending with negative value for trimming, offsetting down, pipe, cap and group. Now beams like these are not one full piece of bamboo. They are joined in the middle, so they need bracing to hold them together so that these joints here will not slip. I'm doing this by getting a specific point on each beams and connecting them. Yes, at least we're hitting the ground. Now, just like the beams, we're pinpointing the position of the columns manually with real Rhino points. So this way it will be very easy should we need to move the columns, do some structural changes or design adjustments. So let's not complicate our life by coding our way to the points. Well, as simple as that. Project these points to the surface above them, make lines, pipe, cap and group. Now till this day I have yet to discover why this stuff here is called trees. My teachers and mentors call these trees, and so should I. Now trees are added down when we have long overhangs like these. The way I create this is first we create a line, divide it, and then move them up with a parabolic set of data. Is that how we call it? Well, I'm calling it parabolic. So yeah. Now once we got that curve, and by curve I mean curve, something curvy, we simply interpolate it. Pipe, cap and group, and there we go. Now we have set of bamboo roofs, bamboo structured roofs. So of course this model is not enough to be used for construction. We still need to confirm this dimension with structural engineers, make details on the joinery and stuff. But hey, here we have a solid idea that we could definitely sell and pitch. Now the method above is only applicable for this type of shape only. So other shape, slightly different methods. But as we see that we are actually using grasshoppers to generate all these structural elements, And these structural elements are adaptable to minor changes in the basic surface, as I'm going to show you this. If you move a certain control points in a certain way that we still respect the principle of the main surface, these are going to be adapted automatically by these scripts from the Grasshopper. And then also you're going to need to install Pufferfish plugins. It's freely available on food4rhino.com. I'm going to put the link in the description. There we go. I hope that you can create your own bamboo roof structure now. And by the way, the 3DM and Grasshopper files of this project are also available for purchase if you are interested in diving deeper or simply need a quick solution for your projects. Link in the description. Also, we are going to create more videos like this, so be sure to subscribe and turn on notifications. See ya.